Let me name drop Barcode. His picture is here. Chat Boy. His picture is here. Mamela FX. Can we get a picture? No, I don't think we have a picture. Okay, he can get a picture right here. Kid Fresh FX. This one is apparently no, he doesn't show his face. Yeah. Who else? Yeah, boys, these scammers. Most of you know these scammers. We don't need to put say a whole list.
We're not gonna name drop everyone. We're gonna name what happened. What do you think happened, and do you feel like you're gonna continue? Why did you stop? What changed your mind, and how did everything go from that point on when you started and where you are now in your forex life?
Okay, so one thing must be understood. Doing is people were going to the banks and they're saying, Chief, give me my money. I got someone. I got a place where I'm getting better interest. And then obviously we were also a bit, not a bit, but I personally, I was like, the system needs to change. Now, yes, and that is why you'd find white people. If you look at our graduations, you don't see a lot of white people graduating when you go to UNAM or NAST.
That is a fact.
It's only us blacks. But now we blacks, we graduate, we get our degrees and all of those things. But where are we going to work? How are we going to create jobs if we do not have access to capital? Yes, I would arguably call myself the Forex king. I made Forex famous in this country. All these kids that are now eating from this Forex thing, they would not obviously acknowledge due to hate and envy, but they all know it's thanks to Mina, it's thanks to me. But it's all good, guys. You don't need to give me my flowers now. I'm sure when I'm dead, you guys will come there to my funeral. He's the one who taught me. He's the one who showed me. But
And welcome to In the Loop podcast, starring Nazeem Harris and my co-host Henry Haufiku, with our special guest today, the one and only Mr. Amushelelo. May you please introduce yourself?
okay, firstly, please don't call me Mister. I hate being called Mister. Because if I check my ID and my passport, there is no Mister. It's just my names. So I don't like titles. So Michael or Amushelelo is fine by me.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Is it fine if we call you Saddam Amushelelo? It's fine.
What makes you happy?
Okay. Yes, yeah. Okay.
Welcome back to episode 6. By the way, we had posted episode 6 already, but due to some circumstances, we had to remove it. But we're back. We're posting this on Wednesday as soon as possible. Please subscribe, by the way. This is one of the greatest episodes of this nation this year for the youth. So please keep up and watch the whole video. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's begin.
Okay, so guys, I'm sure most of you knew what was going to happen as we kind of hinted that we are going to have a special guest on our podcast. As you know, this is one of the fastest growing podcasts in our exactly. Imagine, guys, we just started uploading on 3 days ago, 4 days ago.
4 days ago.
4 days ago. Imagine, guys, 4 days ago.
500 subscribers.
Go subscribe, guys. Don't forget to go subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Exactly.
With the help of Mr. Amushelelo, I'm sure we're going to grow at exponential rates.
Exactly.
Let's go. Okay, Mr. Amushelelo, we've heard a lot about you over the past few years. I feel like I've heard about you from the moment I was in the 7th grade or like the 8th grade. I know I've heard about you and your political awareness and your fight for the people's rights and for the youth, for the nation. We'd like to know, how do you feel about your struggle? How do you feel about your upcoming? What happened? What did you have to do to get to this point? And what else do you need to do to help this country further?
Okay. Thank you very much, Nazeem. Thank you for being on this wonderful podcast. Guys, it's important that we all subscribe. It's very important that everyone subscribe because young people, unfortunately, are unable to find employment despite the fact that they're getting degrees. So we must tend to things like podcast. Some of us maybe need to open my OnlyFans accounts. It's because it seems to me it's the only way. Yeah, because the way things are going in this country, nothing is going right. So obviously, growing up in the dusty streets of Vanaenda, one sees the poverty. Now, growing up in Vanaenda, I used to call it, we were in poverty, and just if you cross the line, which was Ochomwisa Road, you get what is called abject poverty because immediately you find Greenwell, and then from Greenwell onwards, there, Kuriachap Dam, Havana, and all those places. So it's like I grew up next to poverty. I saw what it is like for people to be not having anything to eat. I know what it's like for people to be sleeping in shacks and all those sorts of things. So obviously, growing up as a child, one doesn't really understand why is it that I was living in a brick house and certain people were living in shacks and all of that. Now, later on, one starts to realize that these things are caused as a result of inequality. Now, inequality usually is caused due to the fact that obviously there's poor mismanagement of resources in a country, and the resources are only in the hands of a few as opposed to the rest of the nation. And obviously, seeing some of these things and hoping that someone is going to stand up and do something, that someone never came, that someone never stood up. So I was like, okay, well, if no one is going to stand up, then I might as be, well, that somebody. So that is basically what drove me to become what I am today. It's seeing the inequality, it's seeing the poverty, it's seeing brilliant guys, you know, guys who were at school together with, but unfortunately, due to the fact that they come from poor backgrounds, they were unable to go to university because, unfortunately, if the money is not there and your parents do not have the connections for NASFAF and all these things, you just don't get opportunities in this country. So that's why some of us decided to say that we're going to devote our lives to trying to better society, because it shouldn't even be an argument in this country that we have poor people, given the fact that we've got a vast amount of resources, small population. Like, what's our excuses, guys? There should be absolutely zilch excuses. And obviously, we'll delve later into more of why I got into activism and why some of us are fighting for social justice, because our fight is for social justice. Now, some people don't understand what is social justice. Social justice simply means that you get to wake up in a proper shelter. We're not speaking about shacks, at least brick walls so that your house is able to be protected from fire and things of that sort. You're able to take a warm shower when it's winter, not this thing where if it's winter time, some of you guys, you just dip your finger in the water and then you just make sure this part is clean.
You guys know yourselves.
That's not decent. And then obviously not having to worry about where your next meal is going to come from. That is what social justice was all about. And also not having to worry about, man, should I have another kid or should I not have more kids because I'm unable to feed this current one. So if I make two more, how am I going to feed them and all of those things? Where are they going to go to school? Because right now we've got challenges like kids are not getting spaces in school. Parents have to sleep literally overnight at the school just in order for them to get 50 forms, but there's a population of 1,000 children that need space in that particular school. But if you go to other schools such as Delta, which is also a government-owned school, for some reason, parents are never camping there. So it makes you wonder to say, why is it that certain schools, parents have to camp there, but at certain schools that are also state-owned, it seems to me like there's no camping that's going on there because obviously it's most probably for the middle class and the elites and things of that sort. So some of these issues are issues that need to be fought so that everyone can actually be able to have and enjoy a piece of life and just have a beautiful life.
Actually, you guys, I actually want to add on your point. I've actually experienced it myself, that story of the schools and what. Personally, I went to I wouldn't say it's a privileged school, but it's a government school. I went to Onawa Secondary School. So basically, it's a government school. But if you compare it to other schools, we used to go around to other schools in the nearby town, Otapi. We used to go to such schools and we like David Shehama. We would go to those schools and those schools aren't properly funded. You would see ministers are not going to those schools. But every time a minister wants to come to our school, every time sponsors want to sponsor our school, every time people are just interested in the school, people are giving more attention to the school. I get it because Onawa is one of the highest passing schools in the country. But then again, equality. Imagine if you give the same attention to another school, maybe you might get the same results at that school, at the less privileged school. So yeah, guys, basically that's all I had to add on.
I'd also like to add on to our fellow members' points. My mom, for example, there was never a day in my life where I actually went to school and waited in line to get into school. I've been to almost, if not 5 schools in my life, or maybe 6 if I'm not mistaken. And every single time she'd have to go there, wait the whole day spend the whole day to get into that school. You see? She'd have to talk to someone, make some calls, find some connections. It wasn't something of she maybe waited in the line for a whole day. And it's because of if you don't know anyone, there's no way sometimes your kid can even go to school. Seriously, because you need connections. And a lot of people don't have connections. You see? So if you don't have connections, how do you expect people in the village, let's say for example, to take their kids to a school in town, to get them out of the hood, as you call it, or out of the fields? You see? So these are the things that we need to change as the youth, and we also need to work together as a nation to solve these small things. Because if you think about it deeply, there's a certain stigma in this country on certain types of people to come in certain types of schools. And because of that, a lot of people don't get opportunities. You see? Exactly.
So you guys, I want to add on to my co-host Nazeem's point. So you guys, as you obviously know, not everyone gets the same opportunities and everything. This is due to the government. They promised us education is free. They say education is free, but guys, is education really free? Like that's a question we should ask ourselves. Because as at the school I went to, the government school, we would have to pay high fees. For hostel, we would have to pay high fees. For school, we would have to pay high fees. We would have to pay for the papers and the everything. The government is funding the school, but again, we have to pay. Does that make sense to you guys? And that I saw it myself. There were parents that actually tried to get their kids into such schools, such good schools, but then again, the school is asking for more. So parents really had to struggle. Parents have to struggle when they shouldn't have to be struggling. You see, that's the point.
I wouldn't like to add on that. I'll just like to give it back to Mr. Amushelelo because I feel like he has more to say.
I mean, you guys, it's your podcast.
It's our podcast.
Please ask the questions.
So you felt like you've answered the question fully?
Not necessarily. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Would most probably be stuck on this point the whole day, because I can literally go on and on and on and on. But I think obviously to be able to give the viewers and your audience a better perspective, obviously I'm sure you guys prepared some few questions and all of that. Because I mean, with me, once you give me a mic, it's gonna be difficult for me to give it back. Because once we start hammering, it's gonna be left, right. It's jabs, it's left jabs, it's uppercuts, it's knockouts that are coming. So I don't want to knock out people yet because it's a very early stage. At least let's make the people go until the 12th round. Because I mean, some of us we're good at when with our words, it's like we're Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali in one when it comes to this.
And I also like to add for you guys, please like, if you're at this point, like and comment poverty. Please help Namibia, comment the youth. And also, please subscribe. Make sure you share this link already so that people with you are watching it at the same time so you guys understand what's going on right now. We're definitely going to make this episode spicy, so keep on watching. Now I'd like to move on to our second question, Mr. Amushelelo. We heard about your, let me say, can we say escapade or experience with Forex trading? This was something that you founded in this country, if I'm not mistaken. The Silver Nasdaq boys, ne? those were the days. And he was actually one of the greatest traders in this country. Actually, you are the one who brought that in our country, right? And that led all these little guys, the Namcash, the big folk, to follow on and take on from your reign. So what do you think? What happened? People want to know. I was asked this question. What happened to the Forex money? What happened? What do you think happened? And do you feel like you're going to continue? Why did you stop? What changed your mind? And how did everything go from that point on when you started and where you are now in your Forex life?
Okay, so one thing must be understood. Now, I come from a background where we didn't have much. Now, not having much is not to say I had it all good. I mean, I remember when my friends would buy All Stars or their parents would buy them All Stars, my parents used to buy me Gold Star. So for those who don't know Gold Star was the All Star version that you bought in Pep because you couldn't afford the Converse. So I used to wear that. So obviously as a child, perhaps to give people a background in terms of why I wanted to become wealthy so badly and why I love money. I make no mistake about loving money. Money is a beautiful thing. Right now, if you don't have money and you are sick, you won't be able to go to a hospital. Right now, if you don't have money and you want to take your kids to university, you won't be able to do it. Right now, if you don't have money and you're dreaming of owning a nice car or owning a beautiful house, you're not going to have it if there's no money. Doesn't matter whether Bushiri prays for you, whether TB Joshua comes back from the dead and he starts praying for you. If you do not have money, you would not be able to fulfill your goals and to fulfill your dreams. So I'm born in January, the 22nd. Now, you should now bear in mind, holiday starts in November. No, early November, yes. And then throughout December, you've got many holidays. You've got many public holidays, and then they celebrate Jesus' birthday, and then there's New Year's again. But for some funny reason, my parents could always budget for Jesus' birthday, but they never could budget for their own son's birthday. And in January, the only thing they tell you is to say, hey, the money is finished. We paid for your school. We paid for your school uniforms. So as a child, it felt bad because all you want as a child for your birthday is a cake. That experience of just blowing out candles. I don't know how it's like to blow out candles when it's your birthday, because obviously I was told the same narrative to say the money is finished and all of that. So I always had this edge to say, man, I'm going to make sure that one day I become a multi-millionaire and I'm going to have so much money that I don't have to worry ever again about this thing of January and being broke. So my fear, my parents instilled this fear in me of being broke, because I was like, yo, so one day if I also have children, I must tell them, sorry, I don't have money. I'm broke because I spend the money elsewhere. So I wanted to become financially independent, and I obviously wanted to understand money, and I also wanted to understand how the economy and all of those things work. Now, obviously, being an entrepreneur, and I've always been an entrepreneur, and I stumbled upon this Forex thing. And before Forex, it was actually the Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was the one that I came to first understand, cryptocurrency, basically, for those who don't know. So I was infatuated by this crypto thing because it was a new phenomena. It's finally money that's digital. It's not being controlled by central banks. Government can't tell you about A, B, C, and D. So I was fascinated about it. So got into the crypto world, made a bit of money there, and then eventually those things all move in one circle: crypto, Forex, and you mentioned it. So eventually, from 2017, I started trading. Early 2016, I started trading. But at the time, obviously, you're not making that much money, because obviously you're perfecting the craft, you're self-taught, and it eventually took some time. So if you calculate from 2016 to 2019, I think I started blowing up in 2018. That's when I started making a bit of money. But obviously, because I was financially wise, I didn't first start off with buying cars. First, what I wanted to make sure is have a bit of assets so that my assets can be able to pay for my liabilities. So that way I don't have to stress about any of these things and all of that. Now, 2019, obviously, I think someone dissed me, man. They sort of pissed me off, like, you are always here saying Forex, there's no money in that thing, wara. So I was like, oh, okay, these people don't believe in this thing, because it was something new. So it's not like I'm a lawyer or I was any type of profession. So I was like, wait, man, seeing is believing. And in Africa, unfortunately, even those with eyes cannot see, because for them, seeing must be something that they can physically touch and things of that sort. So I was like, wait, boy, I've got an idea. So we started now saying, okay, all our cars that we're going to buy, we're going to put the Forex plate. Now, that was for two purposes. Number one was for motivation, and number two was to make sure, not marketing. Number two was to make sure that enough people start to see that this thing is actually real. And this thing is not just some facade or something that they see on the internet or whatever. So that's what we basically started doing. And then obviously once people started seeing that, people obviously wanted to like, oh, we also want a bit of that. So we then started educating our people. Now remember, the system wants you to remain poor because it is much more easy to control and govern poor people. That is why you will realize in politics, politicians will never have a rally in Ausblick or Olympia or those affluent suburbs, because unfortunately those people have water, they have electricity, they've got tarred roads, they've got toilets, 4 or 5 of them in their houses, and They wouldn't be interested in politicians coming to just basically tell them nonsense. And that is why this current government made sure that they have enough poor people so that each and every single year they bring you a cabrechen, they bring you a t-shirt, they bring some of these cheap artists to come perform for you. And then for that bit of time that they are with you, you forget about your problems and you are able to be convinced in order to vote for them. So that's what we basically started doing. And then we started empowering people. Now, when we started empowering people, we also started hurting the banks because the banks are the biggest Forex traders, including the institutional guys. Yeah, those guys. Where do you think Sanlam, Old Mutual, and all those guys are investing your pension money or your life insurance money? They're also basically traders, and they're the biggest traders. We call them institutional traders. So they don't want you to have that knowledge, because once you have that knowledge of how to trade, that simply means you're no longer going to give them your money. Precisely. You are now going to say, no, but Sanlam, why must I have my money in your unit trust or your 32-day account? You're basically going to say, give me my money, and then I'm now going to make... Precisely. Then they basically now go make money, because what these guys are doing, they're basically using your money to make more money. And how much do you get? 2%, 3%, 4%. You're getting lousy percentages. So we said, man, let's destroy the banking system. Let's destroy the financial system. So we started trading for people, and we started offering 50% in a period of 2 months. So you can just imagine, if you invest today 100,000, after 2 months, we pay you 150,000. So that simply means that you can easily cash out your whole money, or you can say, man, keep the 50,000, pay me out my 100, and then your 50 starts growing again. So that's basically what we're doing. So what we're simply doing is, people were going to the banks and they're saying, Chief, give me my money. I got a place where I'm getting better interest. And then obviously we were also a bit, not a bit, but I personally, I was like, the system needs to change. Now, those who can remember, in 2019, we started a party called Power. Now, Power basically stands for People Organized Working for Economic Reality. Because for a very long time, I was like, something must be done. And, you know, you can do as much in the finance space, but the real issues are the politics. And that is why I said, let's get into politics as young people so that we can be able to change some of those colonial laws that have been in existence. So what I started doing then, I put up billboards across the country. But those billboards, I put them up at strategic places. Now, our late president used to live in a place called Casa Rosalia. It's like when you're coming from the airport. So just before he leaves his house, because he never stayed in the State House, every day he would commute from his house to go work at the State House. So I put up a billboard there, Power to the People. At the airport, same thing, because obviously when they like to fly out, they have to see that. Then just here by their headquarters next to the dilapidated hospital, we also put up billboards there. You know, they like to go to, back then it was called Safari, now I think it's called Mercury. That's where they always used to go for their conferences. We also put up billboards there because we wanted to irritate them and make them realize that we as young people are no longer going to tolerate their corruptions and things of that sort. So obviously I became a threat to them, because it's one thing just for you to be a political player, but it's another for you to be a political player with money. Because in that time when schools were having issues to like, hey, we need a school hall or anything of the sort, it's not an issue where you complain. You just say, how much does it cost to build a school hall? And then they tell you, oh, we need 150,000. And then you're like, okay, send your banking details. You sent. So there was no time to complain. So the government was seeing all those things. And they were also seeing how I was giving money to other opposition players and things of that sort. So the government was like, yo, guys, how do we stop this guy? So they literally then decided to say, what? You know what we're going to do? We're going to bring trumped up charges. We're going to cook charges against this boy in the hope that they were going to silence me. That was their hope. You know, they were most probably thinking to say that after we freeze his accounts, you know, he's now gone. We're never going to hear of Amushelelo, and that's the end of him. But little did they know that they might have frozen a few coins. When I call them coins, because that is not money, guys. You know, some people think that's money. No, those are coins. Because why do I call them coins? I call them coins because the non-banking financial sector, these are not banks. It's called the non-banking financial sector, is worth currently 439 billion. That is why I'm saying whatever I had is basically pocket change. So the real money is in the financial sector. And unfortunately, we as blacks, we are not in the financial sector because who own the banks? It's still predominantly white people. Who own insurance companies? It's still predominantly white people. Pension funds, medical aids, it's still white people. But what we as blacks do not understand is to say that you can have the most best of brilliant ideas. If you do not have capital, you cannot capitalize on your ideas. And that is why you'd find white people, if you look at our graduations, you don't see a lot of white people graduating when you go to UNAM or NAST.
That is a fact.
It's only us blacks. But now we blacks, we graduate, we get our degrees and all of those things. But where are we going to work? How are we going to create jobs if we do not have access to capital? And that is why I understood that it was very important in order for us to get into the market space, the financial market space, in order for us to basically be able to have capital and to be able to empower ourselves as black people. Now, the problem is, unfortunately, in this country, if you become successful, you're not supposed to share the formula for success. You're supposed to keep it to yourself. You're supposed to eat your millions quietly, and then they basically leave you in peace. But unfortunately, with people like me, I was like, no, we need to empower as many people as possible so that at least many young people can also have this skill in order for them to be able to feed themselves. How many times have you gone to an elderly person and you ask this person, sir, you're driving a nice car. How did you acquire it? They'll just tell you, work hard. Chief, a meme selling kapana wakes up at 3 o'clock, goes fetch her wood, buys her meat, cooks her jangis or whatever, sells them the whole day. In fact, walks from Havana to Prosperita, and she's working hard, but she's not driving a Jaguar, she's not driving a Ferrari, she's not driving a Lamborghini or none of those. So this thing where we are told just work hard, it's the most lie that we have ever been told. Let us start to tell young people the truth. Some of you guys have fishing quarters. Some of you guys have shares in this company A, company B. Some of you are proxies. For those of you who don't know proxy, a proxy is simply, are we able to insult on this podcast?
Yes, yes.
A proxy is simply a bitch for someone. And then this bitch is told, listen here. Okay, I'm putting it in a nice way. Listen here, hold this for me, pretend it is yours, but it's actually mine.
No need to be nice.
That's what a proxy is. That's what a proxy is. So that's what majority of these guys are who are driving flashy cars and all of that. So those who have genuinely made it, they do not want to share this success because in Africa, we have this thing of, I must be the only one in my village who drives a Range Rover. So that everyone else can see me to say that I'm the only one. Yeah. And even in the family, I want to be the only uncle who has money so that when there's a death in the family, that person cannot be buried until I say, yes, you can go ahead with the burial because I'm the uncle with the guap. So this mentality of you only wanting to be alone, it's a backward mentality, and that is why we black people are not able to go forward. And that is why with me, I've learned to say that, you know, it doesn't feel nice I'm the only one driving a Range Rover. Because if we are going to start a Range Rover club, you're the only one with a Range Rover.
Exactly.
But if I empower others, then we can now have a Range Rover club, and then we can all say, okay, guys, are we driving to Cape Town this weekend, or is it the next weekend, or whatever the case is? Exactly. So the whole point is, with your question, is to say that, yes, I would arguably call myself the Forex king. I made Forex famous in this country. All these kids that are now eating from this Forex thing, they would not obviously acknowledge due to hate and envy, but they all know it's thanks to Mina, it's thanks to me, but it's all good, guys. You don't need to give me my flowers now. I'm sure when I'm dead, you guys will come there to my funeral. He's the one who taught me, he's the one who showed me. But
let's give you your flowers. Let me give Amusha his flowers. You guys, all of you Forex scammers, all of you
guys that identify
yes, names like this great man here. You guys, you Forex scammers, you identify names like this great man here. Look, all those forex scammers, all those real good traders, all those small boys that are now driving cars, all those 3245 boys, all those Namcash boys that are driving, all those Namcash boys that are driving cars. This man right here, he started forex in this country. He inspired all of us here. I personally know about trading. At first, I didn't know that it was Amusha that started this thing. Then, the more I got deeper into forex, I was like, when who started this thing in Namibia? I heard Amushe. I'm like, it's Amushe. From there, I was his biggest fan. I won't lie. I was his biggest fan. That's why, personally, these elections, let me glaze him. W glaze. These elections, I'm voting for LPM. I won't lie. Because first I was like, I'll vote for Namibian Economic Freedom Fighters. Then he switched to LPM, which we are gonna get more on that later. But then I was like, nah, I'm gonna vote for this. Upcoming elections, I'm gonna vote for this guy. Because man, he really paved the road for forex traders, for people like us, for the young generation, Gen Z. They call it Gen Z. For the young generation, he really paved the road for us. So yeah, I just want to give Amushe his flowers.
Just to quickly add on that, and the other thing that I wanted to break is that stigma to say that you need to be a certain age in order for you to have $1 million in your account. Like you needed to have like a pens, and then apparently you must have a thick neck. You know, those typical tatis. Me, I was like a young blesser, you know, like finally young women were like, yo, guys, we are finally being, you know, you don't have to go to a date with an old guy. You're now finally dating the guy who's almost the size of you. In fact, he's older than your father type thing. So finally, it was a thing where young people can actually be able to look up to say, but wait, if this guy can do it, then I'm sure we can all be able to do it. And that was the whole purpose of why I was flashy, while I was loud. It's because a few are going to be envious, but the majority are going to be inspired. The majority are going to find hope in what you do. And it's basically what we wanted to do. And that is the objective. And that was the goal.
I'd like to say, honestly speaking, this forex thing can take you a long way. All it requires is time and effort. For those who feel like they are not smart enough to handle school and its systems and its strict rules and its white educational system, there are always other ways for you to do things. You can always come to forex, crypto, some form of investments, stock investments, things like that. All I'm saying is a lot of people don't realize that you cannot start forex and already in the first 3 months you have 100,000. It's not possible. You have to lose to gain, And I think Mr. Amushelelo can tell you the same thing, because I know when he started, he did not automatically start having money. Exactly.
Absolutely not. The problem is people want to make forex seem like it's an overnight success thing. It's not. The amount of time I've spent alone, sometimes crying, sometimes grieving on your losses. Nobody see those tears. Nobody's posting their losses. Everyone is just posting their winnings. But we lost. Like there was a day I lost $1 million. I remember that very well. It hurts. No, it hurts. No, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. But part of the process is to say that. No, that's NAM dollars. So that's like. Back in the days, that was like a 60,000 basically. Not necessarily. 100,000 is almost 1.8 million, 1.9, depending on the exchange rate. That's why I'm saying back then, obviously, the exchange rate was a bit lower compared to what it is today. So, but anyways, the point is here to say that anyone can do Forex. Forex is like, even I, for example, guys, for those of you who don't know my educational background, grade 12 is my highest grade. I got a math in G. So that simply means that I'm not good with numbers. But one thing I can guarantee you is I know how to count money. I know how to make money. So I don't need to be good with maths if I know how to make money. Because a lot of you guys, you are PhDs holders in math, PhD holders in whatever it is. But chief, you don't even know how to make money. You don't know how to count money and this type of things. So I think one of the mistakes that our educational system does is that we are not taught financial literacy. And that is why many of us get this education, but at the end of the day, you find a doctor, they're still in debt. You find an accountant, they themselves are in debt because we are not taught financial literacy. And I think it's important that in our school curriculum, we start immediately educating everyone about financial literacy, because money is the only thing that we are all, the reason why you're sent to school is so that one day you get a job that does what? That pays. So why are we not just teaching our people directly from a very young age how to make money, how to save money, how to invest money, and all those things? These are critical life skills, but we don't have them. We're not taught about them. And that is why you would find a lot of young people, when their parents die and they gain this instant wealth, they always squander it overnight. And the reason why they squander it overnight is because they were not financially prepared to receive that kind of money. And that is why it is important that we start educating people in terms of how to handle money, how to deal with money. And these things are very important. But unfortunately, like I said, the system wants to keep you ignorant because it's much more easier to rule over ignorant and poor people. That's the basic truth, unfortunately.
Just tell us quickly a few words on what you have to say to the current Forex scammers, the under 25s, the little boys, the lighty boys in Ongwediva, the lighty boys in Oshakati, the lighty boys in Windhoek who are doing the most, who are trying to take people's money with crowdfunding and account management, 500 to 5K, 500 to 15K. What do you have to say to those people? And tell us, what should people do to be able to stay away from these people, and how they should start using their money the right way?
Yeah. Once again, I'm going to name drop. I'm going to name drop these Forex scammers that scam people. You guys must be aware.
Please, you must look at yourself, and you must look at yourself and look at the people and ask yourself, do you think people are happy with you, or do you think that people are accusing you when there's so much proof out there? And if you dare us to make a segment just showing screenshots of people complaining and crying over lost money, we can do that as well. I dare you.
Let me name drop Barcode. His picture is here. Chat Boy. His picture is here. Mamela FX. Can we get a picture? No, I don't think we have a picture. Okay, he can get a picture right here. Kid Fresh FX. This one is apparently no, he doesn't show his face. Yeah. Who else? Yeah, boys, these scammers. Most of you know these scammers. We don't need to put say a whole list.
We're not gonna name drop everyone. We're gonna name drop those who have been constantly mentioned. And for some of those who we did not mention, we cannot 100% say that we are accurately. We know that you do. Okay.
Okay. So basically, here's the thing. Now, most people who get into Forex, once they realize that they're not making any form of money and all of this, the hype has already gotten to their heads that they're Forex traders, and they obviously have to somehow try to start faking it. Now, obviously, it's this thing of them wanting to pop bottles in clubs. It's this thing of them, generally speaking, you can clearly see that these guys are the ones giving Forex its bad name. And as a result of these people, most people start think that Forex is a scam, Forex is nonsense and all of this. And it's just because of a few idiots who obviously want to show off to say that, hey, we're here popping more words, what, and all of these things. So for you guys, all I'm saying is, you're going to hurt one day someone who's not afraid of losing anything. And this person, my G, they're going to come after you and they're going to deal with you. And you're going to become another statistic. So my advice to you, make your money genuinely. If you're a legit trader, trade your trades. If you're a legit investment guy, if the people invest, pay your people out. I don't know what's you see, sometimes greed is also a problem. It's like people are greedy. You have taken from this one, you have taken from that one. You don't want to pay people out and things of this sort. And it's a sad thing that these are young people that are always claiming to say that we must trust young people and things of this sort, but they are the ones doing this foolishness. So please, some of these guys, me personally, I'm going to come after you after these names have been dropped. Ek kom soek julle, ons kom soek die zaak. Die storie wat julle mense botch is nag. Die general kom self.
As an as boy. Hashtag bad boy. Hashtag Amushelelo. Hashtag Forex ban. Scammers must go. Huh? I'm telling you, this scammer thing has ruined a lot of lives, and it also changes. It's affecting our economy. If you don't realize it, but you are stopping people from trying something new. You're stopping people from understanding the word investment. You're stopping some of our parents from letting us trade. Honestly speaking, my mother told me to stop trading. Same. But it's not something that you can just give up on just because you lost a few dollars. No, I think you should try. And if it fails, obviously you don't put 30,000 or 10,000 or 15,000.
I think also you asked another question to say. So the other thing is, guys, learn. Educate yourself. There are so many YouTube editorial videos on how to trade. There are so many online material, and it's all absolutely for free. The problem is we, the people, sometimes due to our desperate financial situations, we don't sometimes think clearly. Now you get a person telling you that invest $1,000 and after 12 hours or after 4 hours, you're going to get 10,000 or things like that. Like, also just think logically for yourself. Some things, if it sounds too good to be true, then maybe it's too good to be true. Because where the hell will someone turn 1,000 or 500 into a 30,000 or whatever these things? Now the thing is, scammers understand the psychology of a human being. That's why they will tell you just invest 2,000 and you will get 40,000 or 60,000. So you are not thinking of your 2,000. What you're thinking of is just that 60,000 that you are going to make. Because immediately when you are doing that investment, you are thinking, okay, when I get the 60, I'm going to buy my Kakai Jan Japan. You have already started making plans. Well, the money is not even there. And then as a result, after a few hours, you are calling this person, your number is blocked or whatsoever. And please, I want to now make it categorically clear. All the accounts that you guys find on Facebook with my name and my face claiming that it is me trading, those are scammers accounts. My real Facebook account has over 262,000 followers. And if you look at that account, over the last time I posted about Forex was in 2019 before I got arrested. After that, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm no longer in the Forex game because obviously I'm unable to trade because I don't have bank accounts. I don't have access to capital and things of that sort. So please, I don't do any trading. If you come across any account that is inboxing you, guys, I virtually don't have time to inbox you. And you know what pisses me off? Even while I'm in prison, these people are there saying, no, you inboxed me while you're in prison. God damn it. I'm the most number one hated person in this country. This corrupt government is never going to allow me to have a cell phone in prison. Like, where is our common sense sometimes? Because clearly, there must be something that is also wrong with us. Because people are getting scammed by my wife. There are people posting pictures of me and my wife. My wife doesn't even have a Facebook account. My wife only has Instagram. But people are there every day calling us, yeah, I invested with your wife. I'm like, Chief, we warn you guys on a daily basis that we don't do investments. We don't do anything of the sort. So please educate yourself. Understand how Forex works. Understand how investment works. And do it yourself because it's very easy. Why should you give your money to someone else when you can acquire a skill? You don't need to go to any university. The information, this thing, guys, it's not just for watching porn and posting pictures. This is literally a game changer. This thing is you having access to information right in the palm of your hands. Back in the days, we had to walk to libraries. Back in the days, there was not the internet. Some of us, we didn't grow up in the era where there was internet. If you wanted to find out something, you needed to look in a book called an encyclopedia. For those of you who don't know what is an encyclopedia, it was a book that was almost similar to what Google is today. So you guys have Google today in your hands, but you do not want to use that information because you are also part of the people that we call ignorant.
Okay. Thank you, Amusha, for touching on that Forex topic and all these things that you said. Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for that. So our next question, let me go on to the next topic. Our next topic, tell us, we all know that what happened with your previous party. Okay, tell us, why LPM? Why LPM?
So I first looked around. Now remember, me, I'm a very radical person. Radical in the sense that you could be the party president, or you could be the head of state, or the president of the country. I could care less who you are. Like, if you do some nonsensical shit, I'm going to come after you. I don't care whether you're my president in the party or whether you are the president of the country. If you do something that's not supposed to be done, I'm coming after you. So now I had to assess which political party, when in the absence of that party of mine that got deregistered, was going to be able to accommodate this radical militant person. So I then looked around and I was doing my homework. Now, obviously, if I joined Itula's private club, sorry, IPC, I think it's, is it Itula's private club, or is it Independent Patriotic?
Yeah, I think it's that one.
I don't know. Independent IPC. Okay, fine. Itula's private club. If I join that one, immediately, if Itula just hears I shut down a white company or I said something terrible about homosexual, he's immediately going to suspend me or some shit of that sort. So I was like, I'm not going to go there. And then I looked around at the others and I was like, too cold, too soft, too this, too this. And then I said to myself, but wait, there is only one political party that's ever been thrown out of parliament for being radical. And I was like, no, not ours. It was the Landless People's Movement. Remember when Bernardo Swartboy them got manhandled and chasing out of parliament? Yes. So I was like, wait, man, this is the type of thing that I go through on a daily basis. I mean, I go close down a place and I get roughed up and I get thrown in prison. So I was like, these are the guys that I'm going to join, because they are radical, they are militant, and above all, they've got sharp people who are intellectuals there. I mean, if you listen to Bernardo Swartboy speak, you can hear that he's a true intellect. He understands the assignment, he over-delivers, and yes, if he was a teacher, he would be a professor, because the guy just knows what he's doing. So that is why I opted to join the Landless People's Movement, because it was the only other better alternative in the absence of what was there. And now that obviously NEFF has been re-registered again, unfortunately, I'm not going to go back there. I'm going to remain with the Landless People's Movement, because I, for one, I'm a person to say that, you know, if a ship has sailed, unfortunately that ship has sailed. And my ship has long sailed, and now we're with the Landless People's Movement, and that is where we are going to affect change and bring about change in our society, and it's through a party called the Landless People's Movement.
Let me quote something you said. I was watching a video earlier today. I was obviously doing my research on Amoshe. I was watching a video earlier today where he said, a falcon cannot fly with birds. A falcon has to fly with with chickens. A falcon has to fly, eagle. Sorry. Yeah, an eagle cannot fly with chickens. An eagle has to fly with other eagles. You see? So I was like, yo, this guy is a very smart. The wordplay there, the wordplay is actually on some other level. It's insane. So I was like, yo, this guy actually, Amushelelo.
No, not to glaze, not to toot anyone's horn, but ish, I'm not gonna lie. This is someone who, if you listen very carefully, you can see he thinks before he speaks. Check, Jay. A lot of you don't know what that means, but I'm telling you, if you listen very well, you can see that it's someone who knows exactly what he's going to say and how he's going to say it. And that is someone you should fear, and you're someone you should understand and take a lesson from. You know, a lot of people think, what? Just talking. Listen before you talk. You know, understand what is being said. Rewatch the video even if you have to. Understand and take a note, 3 or 2, and maybe reflect on it while you're sleeping and think, is something that this guy said making sense? Is it affecting my life somehow? You see,
part of our problem is that, you know, most of us don't understand English, and I mean this literally, not figuratively speaking. And that's why sometimes I'm misunderstood. I mean, you'd see in all my posts, I would always call a minister an idiot or I would call a minister stupid. Those are not insults. Those are simple English words. An idiot simply means that you are a person of low intelligence. And it's clearly obvious that some of these people are people of low intelligence. I mean, even today, I'll tell you guys of a scenario. The Ministry of Health shortlisted 700 people for 2 vacancies. That is idioticness. Because number one, those 700 people must use their own personal resources to make sure they get to the interview. Number two, the government will also have to waste resources because these people have to write tests. So that means that government has to print 700 test papers just for 2 people that need to be hired. If it is only 2 people that you need to hire, then at least shortlist those people down to 10 or whatsoever. Because it does not make any sense that you get 700 people just for 2 vacancies. That is stupidity. That is idioticness. That is buffoonery. That is being an imbecile. You know, I could literally finish the whole English dictionary just mentioning words, but I've not yet insulted anyone. I've just described the type of thinking capacity that you have. That's simply what it means. So obviously, many people, they'll be like, yeah, but you can't call adults stupid. But chief, the English, there are no other plain words to call you an idiot. If you're an idiot, you're an idiot. It's that simple. It's not our fault you guys made English a compulsory language. I mean, right now I can't get into UNAM if I have a D in English. So that simply means that you are supposed to be able to comprehend some of these things that we're saying. So please, people, if you don't understand something, don't comment on it because it just shows that you are also of low intelligence. It also just shows you're an idiot. And I call ministers all the time useless. Go Google what the meaning of useless is. If something is not useful, what is it?
It's useless, exactly.
Are these ministers useful? No, majority of them are what?
Exactly.
Useless.
Wait, let me add on. Those 2 he said something about 700 people going for 2 vacancies. Sometimes it comes to a case where the people are already selected.
Yes.
The people are already
People that are
selected.
selected are not even people of intelligence, are people that are known, that have connections. Check, Jay. So why did you make these 700 people come there? And I think, I don't know if it's PR or it's selfishness or it's maybe to boost, I don't know, something in their areas there or their company or whatever. But it's just not making sense as to why they would do that to good people. Né? It's not making sense. They know those 2 people. They have known those 2 people before they sent out the list even. You check.
No, these are just formalities. You know, the problem in this country, they'll put out a tender advertisement to make it look like the thing was legit and all of that. But they already know who's getting the tender. It's just a thing where they want to make it look formalized. Now, the same thing with vacancies in this country. You will be there applying for the job. 1,000 of you or 2,000 of you have to go for an interview where there's only 2 people that need to be worked. And that's why you'll realize that in our country, most of our people are now turning to witchcraft. Most of our people are now committing suicide because obviously, if you attended more than 10 interviews, there are people who for the last 10 years, let's say you graduated in 2014, up until now, this person is still job hunting. And every time this poor person goes to a job interview, they for some reason never succeed, despite the fact that this person knows that they did the best. So what do you start to think? You start to think maybe you are witched. You start to think maybe there's something wrong with your family because your brothers have also now graduated. They're also not getting jobs. Your father is unemployed. Your mother is unemployed. So you start thinking maybe there's something wrong with your family. But unfortunately, there's nothing wrong with your family. It's just that for the last 34, 35 years, we've been voting for corrupt thieves who have not been able to create good, sustainable jobs for everyone, but only jobs for themselves. In this country, we call them jobs for comrades. Unfortunately, if you are not a comrade, you cannot get a job. If your surname is not well known, you cannot get a job. That's the sad reality of this country. And unfortunately, if people do not understand this, unfortunately, things are going to continue going this way. If we continue voting for thieves, if we continue voting for snakes and hoping that things are going to change.
On to my question. I think we can move on. And like I said, please like, share, and subscribe. By this point, you should have already liked, you should have already subscribed. Shout out to the sponsors. We like to sponsor Dr. Issa Mulabola. He opened a new practice in Horian Hub. His flyer is right here. His number is in the description. His email is in the description. He's a very good guy. He studied in Uganda. He's a family friend. We've known him for maybe 10 years or 8 years now. He's very good. He helped me a lot of times. I was even his first patient here in Windhoek. I think you guys should please go to him. He's very nice. He's cool. He's chill. He likes talking. If you guys want to vibe, you want to talk to your doctor, you want someone nice, that's the guy to go. And literally, I would even direct anyone to him because he's really cool. And yeah, he's a chill guy. He'll do his job. He'll do the best. And also to our other sponsor, we have my mom. She sponsored this episode as well. She has an Instagram account, the Luxury Raw Hair, where she's selling Vietnamese quality hair of all types, the laced wigs and all that. You can get it from there. The number will be in the description, and her email will be in the description. Thank you very much. You will also see her Instagram account right here. And thank you for that. And back to my question. Mr. Amushelelo, we'd like to know. I was asked, we're driving in a Yango today, né? And on our way here, in that Yango, there was this guy, and then we asked that guy, the driver, we asked him, let me ask you a question. If you were to ask, let's say, someone like Amushelelo a question right now, what would you ask him? And I was like, as for me, I want to know this shuffle of the SWAPO party, the way it affected the big people, the big names, the Minister of Health, the Minister of Justice, those big heads. We know them, you know them. How did that shuffle happen, and how is it going to affect our nation as a whole? And what do you think was the problem? How did this happen? And what is your view on it exactly? Tell the youth, please.
Okay, so basically, this is what we call, when a snake. Okay. So, when a snake sheds off its skin,
Yes.
in order to make room for new skin.
Yes.
So this is basically what this snake is doing. It's now shredding off its old skin to embrace the new skin. I mean, I hear of people saying that, no, they are now bringing in new people and all of that and all of that. But here's the thing. The system is already corrupt. These people are used to corruption. So there's no absolute way that these guys are going to self-correct. It's like somebody who's gotten cancer and they've allowed that cancer to go to stage 6, stage 7. These people are basically, when your hair starts to fall off, this is basically the hair falling off stage. But because we don't understand the real depth of this thing, we're just thinking, oh, the guy has gone bald now, maybe new hair is about to grow. No, this person is about to die. So what I make of it is basically a snake shedding off its old skin in order to make room for the new skin. And unfortunately, the venom in the snake is still the same. People would be foolish enough to think that someone who's been in government for the last 34 years is all of a sudden going to be able to make change within a period of 5 years. My G, if in 34 years you couldn't change anything, what makes you think that us giving you another 5 years, in those 5 years, you're all of a sudden going to perform miracles when you were at your best, in your prime, much more younger, much more fitter, where you were able to run, where you were able to walk. Now you can barely walk. Your speech is slurred. Your brains are blurred. What makes us think that you would now be able to deliver? Guys, let us not be hypocritical with one another. Those people who are currently supporting the ruling party are only the people with tenders. It's the people who their parents are the ministers, directors, and things like that. It simply means it's the people who are benefiting. The normal guy who you find in an informal settlement, doesn't matter in which part of the country, that person who has not known what it's like to use a toilet, they have to use a bucket or a plastic every night. Guys, can you imagine and can you fathom that someone right now, due to effect of collective failure. Because remember, it's a collective. We can't put blame solely on one person. You know, it's like us blaming Maguire when Manchester loses. It's absolutely wrong. It's the whole team. The whole team contributes towards that particular failure. So these people are a collective. They have collectively failed. And unfortunately, we would be foolish enough if we are going to believe that change is coming. Guys, you know, sometimes I look at some of those things now, and not scary, not even disappointing. Disgusting is not even the word. You know, I don't have words right now. But all I'm saying is we're going to be foolish enough to think that change is going to come given the same people that we've been putting into power for the last 34 years.
So guys, thank you, Amushelelo, for touching on that topic.
Don't forget, subscribe, like, and share.
Yes, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So Amushelelo, the next topic we have now, you posted it on your Instagram story as well. We are also talking on it, but it's clear YouTube they took down the video basically. So there's a recent story that happened at UNAM main campus where there was public indecency. We are not sure if it's two guys or one guy, two guys or straight people. We don't know. But one thing that one is white also. One is white. One is black. One thing we know is that they were doing sexual immoral stuff in a public area. Imagine.
I heard they were giving each other a head. They were there for almost an hour. They were just there having sex literally on the stairs. And that stairs, mind you, UNAM people know that stairs leads to everything. So wherever you're coming from, you have to reach that stairs and you have to find those people there. Check Jay. A public place.
Now, okay, we'll give Amushelelo a chance to speak on this topic.
Now, first thing is first, my wife actually tagged me in the thing. All I did was repost. So, guys, at the level where I am right now, as a national leader and as a public figure, some of these nonsensical things, I do not have time to address them because there are much more pressing matters that need to be addressed in this country. And part of our problem as a society is that we always like to focus on these destructive things, these things that are, even if we discuss now that two guys or one guy or I don't know, whatever the case is, that's not going to solve our hunger problems. People are dying from malnutrition, most of them, especially kids. People are dying from starvation. People are dying from hunger. People are dying as a result of their shacks burning down. There are so many issues that we as young people can be able to tackle. And I think as guys who are doing podcasts, I think what is going to be important is to say that let's be able to provide guidance and leadership for our people. I mean, let other people discuss these things. My juices is the, you know, let's be a podcast of substance. Let's be a podcast of value. Let's be a podcast that's when someone watches this and when someone listens to this, it's going to change their life or it's going to move them in a direction that's going to better their lives. So for me, I don't even want to comment on it. So I would say no comment.
No comment. No comment from our channel. We apologize to those that were those that actually saw it as public indecency on YouTube. We're sorry that we posted the video, and yeah, basically, yeah.
I personally do not apologize. It's a serious thing. Public indecency is a serious problem. It's even against the law, literally. It's in the books. You cannot do that. You cannot publicly do anything sexual or nudity or anything that's not PR friendly or PG, because there are people who do not feel safe around such things and such situations. And it's also making people think a lot, like, what's happening here? Is this some sacrificial type of thing? Is this like some mentally disturbed situation? Is this like a trap? If we touch them, what will happen? You know those people, man. Yeah, it causes fear in people's lives, man. Someone maybe went to go sleep and ask themselves, what did I view here? What did I see? Like, what was this? Like, was maybe some demons that were there turning into people and having sex at the stairs. You know, people overthink, but I think it's a serious problem. And we're not saying go talk about it a lot, but keep it in your mind that there are some people that are not okay in the head, and there are some situations that are not. Some things we just can't explain, and there's some things that we also need to put into effect. And people must go and find these people and talk to them, and to say, yeah, Fathanan, and do exactly what they need to do to these people according to the law and the right way, and make sure this doesn't happen again. That's all I have to say.
Just quickly on that, I think the topic that you guys need to bring about is to say what has happened to our society, because there is a huge moral decay. I mean, we're seeing a lot of immoral things that are currently happening in our society. So we need to have a discussion on to say what has happened to our society. Why is our society the way it is today? I mean, the problem is we've wanted to become Western so much that we've literally not filtered what is good and what is bad. So we have literally just taken everything, irrespective of whether this one is now good for our society, whether it's not good for our society. And I think we need to have a discussion on immorality and morality and just the decay of our society, because this is our society that we live in now. I mean, we can speak about public indecency. I mean, someone back in the days would say a young woman wearing a short something is called public indecency. Today it's called fashion. I mean, we've got young people on social media literally selling themselves. I mean, the only reason why a woman posts in a bikini on Instagram, that's a thirst trap. Let's be realistic. Let's be honest with each other. Let's be honest. She wants the likes, she wants the views, and that's why she needs to twerk, and that's why she needs to do whatever it is to get that type of attention. So if we need to start speaking about moral decay and all of that, it's a topic that is broad. It's a topic that's not going to end. But all I'm saying is these are the times that we're living in. Constitutionally, those guys, I don't know whether they were wrong because the Constitution is silent on that. Morally, obviously, it's morally wrong. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, but you touched on something very important to say that obviously, what is it that was happening there? Is it some sort of sacrifice? Obviously, there's some trauma to the people who viewed those things. Obviously, you know, we've got a lot of human rights issues these days. I mean, gays have rights these days. The alphabet community has rights these days. So those guys are going to go to court and argue to say that if I want to have sex here, I can have sex here. Those type of things. So we've opened up a door where, you know, when you open up the Pandora box, a lot of things start coming out. Some of them we're not going to be happy about. But yes, this is the society that we're now living in. Tomorrow, expect while you're walking in town, just two men to be fucking each other and all sorts of things. And some of our kids are going to be confused. Some of you are going to be mentally disturbed from there on. But guess what? That's the society we're living in right now.
That's our society.
That's what we have decided upon. So, I mean, if you guys still want, you know, if we're in government today, some of this nonsense will stop just now. It's just the moment we enter government. Stop. Daar is nog lang stories in.
That's why we are saying. That's why we are saying vote for LPM, guys. Vote for LPM.
Stop. There is not such nonsense.
Also, guys, I want to touch on this. Our kids are now, we are in an age where our kids are on social media. Small children, the age of 6, they are in grade 1 and they are on social media. Now, how do you think a parent would feel if their child comes to you saying, "No, mommy, look at this video, I found it." How do you think your child? How would you feel as a parent? So, guys, it's also a thing of where our children, young kids, are being affected. So, guys, please, this is really not right. It's immoral. It's very wrong. Yeah, I basically agree with everything they said. It's very wrong and just. Yeah.
I think it's time to move on. Yeah, we have said enough. It's now up to the people who are supposed to do their thing. If they don't do their thing, who are we to stop them? I guess we can only say so much. You know, we can only do so much. Vote for the right party. Vote for the right people. Do what makes you happy. Do what you think can.
But that's it. Don't say do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were doing what makes the what was.
No. I'm talking about as in the voting sense. Yes, vote as in vote for what you want. Not. No, no, no. Do not do what makes you happy. Control yourself. Huh? Your mind first, and then the other things. Check, G. Yeah. We'd like to say we have another. I think we do have a final question, or maybe two last questions. I think we have enough time. I think. Yeah, I'd like to know also personally, what do you think about the YouTube space in Namibia? Like, what are we the way what we are doing right now? What do you think about it, and what should we do further? What should we do? What can we do right in order to make this a monetary success, a societal success, a personal success, all types of successes? How do you think we can go about it?
Now, first thing is first. Obviously, you guys need support. I mean, if you look at the budget for the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they get a budget of approximately 250 million. Now, that caters for salaries. In fact, I think the budget that goes to the youth specifically is most probably just 9 million or 16 million. The rest of the money goes to those SNTs, those heavy bloated salaries and things of that sort. So a small percentage basically trickles down back to young people. Now, some of these things, you guys obviously need some form of training because not everyone is able to deal with the recording, the setting up, and things of that sort. So I think we need to start paying attention to the arts and culture industry because we have not focused much on arts and culture. We have always assumed that the arts and culture is for people who are not stupid. That's why people laugh at you when you go to the College of the Arts, as opposed to you going to varsity and studying apparently a real degree like engineering and things of that sort. But these things are needed. I mean, somebody is going to watch this podcast, is going to watch this interview, and they're going to learn a thing or two. So I think this needs to be supported. This is the future. We cannot lie, guys. Digital platforms are the future. Soon we are going to migrate from radios, from TV, and everyone is going to be just glued on the internet, and they're going to be watching whatever channels it is that is there. So you guys are on the right path. Obviously, you need more support, not only from people like myself, but you also need support from the government. You need support from society. And I mean, I would like you guys to also one day be big. I mean, you guys could be our next Mr. Beast or the Mac and G's and all of those guys. And obviously, when you start making a living from those things, it's not obviously just going to be you, but it's also going to be for whole society because eventually you guys are going to become so big that you're going to need someone who's going to be doing the setup for you. All you guys do is you just come, you sit, you ask your questions. Someone right now would be behind the camera. Right now, I feel sorry for you guys. You need to be making sure the sound is fine. He needs to make sure the camera. But right now, we would have needed a camera guy. We needed a sound guy. We need a guy for the lighting because I'm sure the lighting is also not perfect.
Yeah.
We needed someone to do our makeup. So can you see that it's a whole industry? Then we also most probably needed someone to dress us to say all of this.
Yeah.
So and then somebody also most probably have to do the choreography. So it's an industry that does not just create employment opportunities for you, but it creates opportunities for many other people. Right now, someone needs to go do the editing. It's still going to be you, but there's someone who just specifically deals with editing, who's good at it. So it's an industry that can literally overnight create thousands, if not millions of jobs. If only government starts taking it seriously and also start investing in crucial sectors like this. I mean, if we don't, and corporate sponsors as well, I mean, you had to thank your mom as a sponsor. Guys, sponsors, please, let's get serious. Sponsors, and I'm going to call out the corporates. Make sure you guys get on board on some of these things because the reason why some of us are calling for nationalizations so that you guys are no longer private and you are now owned by the state is because you guys are failing us. You know, if you see what corporate companies in this country do in South Africa, they sponsor literally anything and everything. But in this country, these guys don't want to do anything because the government obviously doesn't pressure them much. And obviously, they just want to maximize their profits. But unfortunately, these things are soon going to come to an end, guys. So start playing nice now so that when the day eventually comes, when we are going to take over government, that day is going to come, guys. We are not going to be as nice to you because you are also nice to our people. So, guys, make sure next time I come or I watch this podcast. I see your logos there. You guys are the main sponsor. You guys have sponsored facilities for these young people. They need a studio of their own right now. They needed to rent a studio. So please, some of these things are things that can be sorted out just with a little bit of help. You know, they've started already. You guys always complain about meet government halfway, halfway. These guys are more than halfway. They've got their own laptops. They've got their own things. They've gone the extra mile. In fact, I'm calling out Emma Theophilus. Show us that you're not a chihuahua. After all, you're the minister of ICT. You're supposed to be the minister advocating for these things. In fact, Emma, I challenge you to be the next guest on this show so that you, as a young minister, a minister of information and technology, show us that you are for the youth. And you come onto this show, you show love to these young people, and this young people's podcast must grow, and you also start advocating for the growth of this industry in order for this industry to create as many jobs for our people as possible. So Emma Theophilus, I'm calling you out. Please come and have this seat, and please support young people. That's all I can say, because her coming on board would obviously be a big plus for you, not only for the podcast industry, but for the rest of the creative industry and things of that sort. So that is what we need. We need not just word of mouth, we need real support, tangible things to be done.
I heard, I don't know, a few months ago, but I heard that something like the ICT minister was working on getting YouTube monetized in Namibia. If that is true, and if you, ma'am, are really ready to do this, and you really want to help us, we would really love you to come here and explain to us how it will happen and how you feel about the technology and the ICT and the information and communication in this country, and how you feel about the youth and how they are changing this sector and how we need to develop and all that stuff. We have the questions for you. We'd love for you to come here, and it's only good vibes. And we know you're kind of young. I think she's how old? 28. She's very old. She's very young, and she's also very old at the same time. And she, it's a lot of good things. And we are also young. We're in our 20s type vibe, and we just want to have a good conversation with someone who is kind of close to our age, who understands the vibe. You're probably a millennial, She is a millennial, so you do know the life of the iPhone. You are a, what you call those babies? A Gen Z baby. You know how the vibe is. You know what we have to go through, and the fact that you made it, that's a big thing. And we are proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. So please help someone or help other people so that we can do the vibe. We can keep this going, and yeah, that'll be a really wonderful thing.
So we're calling you out, Emma. Please come. Don't be scared now. I will not be here. Don't worry.
Yes, Emma. Honorable Emma Theophilus, please come. Please come to our podcast. Would love to hear from you. Would love to hear your point of views. Yeah, and also other guys, other people, other influencers, other big names in this country. Would also like to invite you to our podcast. We are a growing channel. We are also doing our thing. We're also going the extra mile. Yeah, and thank you to our people that sponsored this video. We wouldn't be doing this without them. Exactly. So guys, please watch out for the sponsors. Also our growth. We would also like to thank you guys for the growth. Obviously in 3 days we managed to clock 5,000 views. Over 5,000 views. Close to 6,000 views. Exactly. Exactly. So in a way, we also want to
0 to 500 subs.
Exactly, from 0 to 500 subs in 3 days. So obviously, we really don't. So basically, we also want to pave a way for the YouTube industry, the media industry. Obviously, other guys like Yeezer, Miss Gideon are also pushing for the music industry. Let's also push for the media industry, guys. The movies, we create our own movies. Maybe we get Netflix to come in Namibia, same way they came to South Africa. Those type of things, guys. Let's really push the youth. We have to push. You can see guys like Amushelelo, he's pushing in the political side so he can also pave a way for the rest. We are pushing in the media side. People like Yiza are pushing in the music industry side. Yeah, guys, we're all pushing. The youth must push.
To add on that, check the camera first. That thing is back. Yeah, I'd also like to say that this channel grew very fast. If you look at your people, the Yeza. Let's just be honest. He's not clocking 6,000 views in 3 days. No, he's not clocking. Does he clock that? But in 3 days. Yeah, so the growth is powerful. It's very powerful for someone who just made an account. Boom, flip, boom, flip. We just advertised fast, ho. Here we are with Amushelelo, just like that. Some people are saying, it's not possible. It's not possible. There's some podcasts in Namibia. I know of them. We know of you guys. The open chat, who this, the culture, who this, what. You guys, 300 views, 2 years, 3 years ago, like what was that? It's showing that you guys have a vision, but something is, I don't know what's wrong. But we did it. We're doing it. You can do it. We can help you if you help us. We work together. That's all Mr. Amushelelo is trying to say. You feel me? So yeah, I think this is the way to go, definitely.
One thing I would advise, guys, collaboration is very important. Sometimes we underestimate the power of uniting our efforts and all of that. Some of those guys that you guys are calling out, they might have the equipment and all of that. So what I would suggest is let's collaborate. Let's use the little resources that we have. We can call out the government. We all know how the government is very slow. I mean, it's being run by old people. So those people, they take their time. They're like, so they're very slow. So we as young people, let's use our creative energy. Let's use our youth while we still have it, because we've got a lot of energy. We've got energy for doing some dumb shit. But what if we use that same energy that we use for dumb shit in order for us to be able to put it in proper constructive things? I always find it very odd that young people can stay up the whole night drinking until 6 o'clock, but you will never find them the whole night working on their dreams. Then there will be the same youth, when you make it, when you succeed, they'll be like, yeah, how is he driving such a car? Boss, while you were just there in the clubs with your savannah, we were working on our dreams. So all I'm saying is, let's not just use our time distractively. Let's use our time constructively, because we're not going to be forever young, guys. Very soon, we're going to be grandfathers and all of that. And then when you're going to look back, you're going to have your pictures, you YOLO'd, Mara, Chief.
Did you actually make a difference?
No, like, not did you make a difference. You would be that old person who YOLO'd us. We are there driving past with our Range Rovers. You are that one just there, depending on your pension. That's not even going to be enough to sustain you and things of that sort. So all I'm saying is, don't take this thing of you are young and use it as a nonsensical vehicle for you to be reckless. You can be young and still be able to do constructive things. And I think we take this time for granted in our teens to build ourselves, because very soon you find yourself, you're past your 30s, you are in your 40s, and then at 40, when you look around, everyone around you is doing good, and you start having a midlife crisis. Because why? You spend all your days in the shiza pipes, smoking the whole day, drinking the whole day, and all that nonsense. So it's not to say, you are enjoying your youth. Enjoying your youth does not mean destroying your future. That's the mistake many young people have. And enjoying yourself doesn't always have to consist of drinking alcohol and getting wasted and things of that sort. There are so many ways to enjoy yourselves, but unfortunately, we have limited enjoyment to just distracting ourselves and our bodies. So, some of you are going to come and say, life is short. Chief, life is just short sometimes. Sometimes life can be long and miserable. So I don't want you to have a long, miserable life. So I want you to have a long and productive life. That's what I basically want to emphasize on. And that's my message to young people and to people who are not so young, that it's never too late to turn your fortunes around.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Like, we highly appreciate this man, chat. Honestly.
Guys, we want to thank Amushelelo for actually taking the time out of his day to come to our podcast. Like, guys, imagine I DM'd him and I was like, maybe this guy is going to take maybe a whole day or 2 days to reply. He replied that same minute, guys. That shows you guys, Kucha, this man, This man is a great man, you guys. Yeah, we just want to thank you for the great energy, the great response, and the great everything, man. We just want to thank you. And yeah, guys. Yeah, we need to start wrapping up now.
Yeah, okay. The last shout out to the sponsors. Y'all know who it is. We're gonna drop the link. The link is in the description. The link is in the description. Everything is there. The email, the number. You got the vibes. You got the pictures here, the flyers here, and also we love you guys. Have a great day. Have a great week ahead. Prepare yourself for more great content. Follow the proper socials. Our Instagram is there. Yeah, just run it up. Show some love. We love you guys, and we hope this actually works out. And Mr. Amushelelo, he said he's gonna make sure those Forex guys, you guys, pass up, chile. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, so just to remind you, so you don't sleep nice today. You must at least, Jimut Pakamisa, JJ. You must with one eye open, like they used to do back in the day in the war. You must open one eye and sleep with one closed, with a knife under the blade and under the pillow. You check. Yeah, that's the vibe we want, because when you are stealing people's money, you are wide open, your eyes are wide open, you are sleeping nice, you got the Moet there next to the bed, you have the Hennessy there in the fridge. Sinje, alles is daso. Hennessy boys, alles is daso. But now when the things are coming to you like this, you are there, hey, ma'am, you check. Now you want to start paying out, you are seeing there, yeah, guys, payout is today at 3 o'clock. Pass up, we know about those, that fake F&B app. Huh? If only we could ban it in Namibia even. If they could just block that thing from our region, honestly speaking. So yeah, you guys, pass up, Che, and y'all should have a good time. It was a wonderful podcast episode. Lovely controversy, W vibes. Yeah, everything was just lit. Thank you guys.
Okay. Just one thing to quickly add on. One thing I've noticed with many podcasts is that you will find where the video has 100,000 views, but you guys are not subscribing. Now, the reason why it's important for you to subscribe is because the more you subscribe, the more viewers this channel gets, the more recognition it's likely to get from YouTube, so that these guys can also get their plaque and also start their account being monetized. Because it doesn't help they get a video that goes viral, 1 million views, but if their subscribers are too low, unfortunately, that's how the game works. So please, let's make sure for everyone who views this video, please go and subscribe, so that this subscribes can obviously one day turn into dollars, not only for those young people, but for the other people that they have to employ. Like I said earlier, this podcasting thing needs to be done by a whole crew, by a whole cast, but it's only up to us if we are able to obviously like this content and things of that sort. So what I'm doing as an undertaking is to say that when this channel reaches 5,000 subscribers, we're going to come back and we're going to do another interview. But this time is going to be a much more in-depth interview. This time around, it's not going to be this is not an interview. This, for me, it was just an introduction. I just wanted this is just a little introduction. I just wanted you guys to know about this podcast. I want this channel to grow. I want these young people to be empowered. I want these young people to one day also become successful. So this was just basically an introduction. So we are going to get into the body, and then the body, we do the conclusion, and then it's going to be a proper essay. Right now it's just the introduction. Let's get to 5,000 views. All of us, let's share. There is no harm. 5,000 subscribers. There is no harm in you sharing the link and all of that. Let it all be all love, and let's just show love to one another. And that's the only way we can be able to grow as a society, as a country, as a continent, and as a world. Thank you.
By the way, you guys might not appreciate the power of liking a video, but the more likes you have, YouTube shares the video more. Do you know that? That's why a lot of YouTubers don't say subscribe anymore. They just be saying like, please, let's get to 10,000 likes, let's get 30,000 likes. Because the more you like the video, YouTube see that there's impressions on this video, and they share it more on people's feed. But if there's, let me say you have 5,000 subscribers and only 100 likes, that video will not grow on its own. So the liking is very important. Honestly speaking, there are two important things here: liking and subscribing. Just click a button, put on the notification. It's just 3 movements with your one finger that you have to do. Please, we beg you. That's all we need.
So yeah, guys, let me end. Let's wrap up now, guys. That's a special goodbye from me.
From me.
And from me.
And that is the end of the episode, guys. Thank you for watching, and shout out to you guys, man. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Let's go. Okay. So, what